If you had the ambition of making one block of tofu at home, the whole process you'd be looking at front to back would be 1. Soaking some soybeans, 2. Blending them, 3. Cooking out the lectins, 4. Making a soy milk, 5. Straining through a nut bag, 6. Heating it back up, 7. Mixing in a coagulant, 8. Developing the curds, 9. Pressing to your desired firmness, and then finally, you can portion. But let's be straight with each other. You like tofu, you clicked on this video, but you are also lazy. And so are we. Our mutual predicament might just happen to have an answer though, which is a dish called hejia, aka lan tofu, or lazy tofu. It's a rustic dish hailing from the southwest of Hubei, clustering around the city of Anshi due west of the provincial capital Wuhan. It's one of those humble rural dishes that seem practically designed from the ground up to maximize nutrition and deliciousness while minimizing hassle. Because the basic process is just this. You start with some soaked soybeans, as you kind of have to, blend them, alright, but instead of that whole tofu song and dance, you just reduce, add in some chopped vegetable, and cook it all into a douhua or maybe hummus-like consistency. And then, to make it delicious, you fry up a flavorful chili oil-based topping, and then eat it all over rice, often with a side of pickled vegetable, at times maybe an extra stir-fry or two. It's a relatively easy and, importantly, very cheap way to feed a large family or a small crowd, and really is way more delicious than it has any right to be. So, to make it, first step, of course, is soaking those soybeans. Here we've got 200 grams worth. Just give them a quick wash, and then fill that bowl up with water up an inch or two above the beans, and let those soak in the fridge overnight. Then, next day, whip out your blender, and then blend that all together with a liter of water. And we had to do this in 2 batches, and likely so will you. You don't need to be too paranoid about the final consistency, because we are going to be effectively braising this all anyway. So once you've worked through it all, just set your soy milk aside. Then, another great thing about this dish is that, kind of in the mold of something like a sag or a stewed green, lan tofu is a fantastic way to eat an absolute metric ton of vegetable. Classically, in Hubei, people tend to reach for either pumpkin or daikon leaves, but definitely use any heartier vegetable that's local to you. For those in the States, collards might be nice, maybe kale if you don't mind paying the health influencer superfood tax. But here in Bangkok, I'm reaching for xiaobai cai, baby napa, 750 grams worth. Blanch that until it's completely soft and a chopstick can poke right through. For us, for baby napa, that ended up about 5 minutes. Then just remove, hit it with some running water, and then thoroughly squeeze out the moisture once it's cool enough to handle. Then move it over to a chopping board, slice it finely into about a ½ centimeter mince, and give those cut pieces a good squeeze again. Set it aside, and then now we can whip up some lazy tofu. So, to a wok or any vaguely non-stick-ish vessel, first go in with 2 tablespoons of oil, preferably lard, but up to you. Give that a swirl, and over a high flame, toss in your blended soybeans, and start to get that up to a boil. You'll want to keep this all at a rolling boil for at least 10 minutes to cook out those lectins. So if it's reducing a touch too fast on you, feel free to add a little more water as you go. Word of warning number 2, that this does really like to stick on you, so you will need to keep it moving. That said, it is one of those low-intensity kitchen jobs, so you can maybe sort some dishes at the same time, or maybe just toss on some music and crack open your drink of choice. After about 20 minutes of cooking though, your soy milk should be starting to get nice and thick and bubbly like this. So swap the flame to medium, toss in the vegetable, and cook it for another minute or 2. Then just add in your seasoning, which I'll just list at the top of the screen, and out. Now, topping-wise, the most classic flavor here is to lean heavily into la rou, smoked Chinese bacon. No, a couple things. First, for those keeping veg, we did test out a meatless version of this topping, full recipe of which is down in the description. Second, because of laws, smoked la rou can be a little tough to find outside of China. So to sub it, our recommendation would be a country bacon like this. But any smoked bacon should work if you rendered out the grease, Detailed instructions also in the description. So then, to a wok, first toss in about 1/3 cup of oil, and then go in with 20 grams worth of minced smoked lard roe. Let that cook over a medium-low flame for about 2 minutes, or until the oil gets infused with its smoky porkiness. Then add in 2 cloves of minced garlic together with a 1/2 inch minced ginger. Let that fry for another minute, then toss in 3 tablespoons of chili paste. Now, in Hubei, they'd probably reach for a local fermented chili paste called jiaguanjiao. We don't have any, and neither do you. So for us today, I went with some Laogama pickled chili sauce. This bottle, finely minced up, although you could equally go with duojiao, Hunan chopped chilies, which are a similar thing. Barring that, maybe sambal olik? I don't know, some sort of fermented chili paste. Let that slowly fry and stain out a bit of the oil, about 2 minutes or so. Then toss in an optional 1/2 tablespoon of red fragrant chili powder for a bit of color. Brief fry, then season with a 1/4 teaspoon white pepper powder and a teaspoon of dark Chinese vinegar. And then, with that, just smother that all over your lazy tofu and serve.
So, how to eat this thing? Well, it's quite simple. Just mix the chili oil with the tofu first so that it got a lot of that sauce. And then take your tofu, smother it over your white rice. And then mix it. And then you can eat it. And to go along with this, lots of times you will have some kind of pickles. We have kimchi here because that's what we have in the fridge. In Hubei, you will often see some kind of pickled cabbage or pickled daikon, anything that's sour, crunchy, and then maybe some kind of simple stir fry like chili fried pork or some kind of spicy and sour shredded potato. And that is a one nutritious, satisfying meal. Oh, another thing, if you like it to be a little bit more on the flavorful side, you can double up the sauce and just set half of the portion aside. And as you finish your sauce, you can just keep on adding more sauce to your lazy tofu. So right, check out the recipe in the description box. A big thank you for everyone that's supporting us on Patreon, and of course, subscribe for more Chinese cooking videos.